That is exactly right. We're expecting to hear from the governor herself during a press conference tomorrow morning that she will be implementing a vaccination mandate among some state workers. But on top of that, something that will affect all of us is that she will be implementing a mask mandate for indoor public places regardless of your vaccination status. This is the worst we've seen. And at this rate, it's going to get worse, according to healthcare workers. Projections show hospitalizations in Oregon on a sharp incline and on trend to reach its worst point September 7th, with an estimated 1,100 patients. As it stands, COVID patient hospitalizations are already overrunning a number of hospital systems. And if the trends don't change in a matter of weeks, we won't have a hospital bed for everyone who needs it, which is why the governor says she's stepping in, announcing today some state workers will be required to be vaccinated, and anyone inside public places will have to wear a mask, regardless of their vaccination status. It's a move health officials say will help slow or flatten the curve once again, and without it, they say the situation is dire and dangerous.
We are on a trajectory that will overwhelm our hospital system and get a lot of people sick. Even if they're not hospitalized, they'll become infected with COVID.
So again, the governor will announce these mandates officially tomorrow morning, and that's when we also expect to learn when the mask mandate will officially go into effect.
Story, Megan, you spoke with local businesses and leaders. How are they responding to these changes?
Well, Steve, some business owners tell us their clients are used to wearing masks and they're hopeful people will adapt in the weeks ahead. But I also spoke with some local officials who say with vaccines readily available, this decision should fall to the counties.
We're frustrated, plain and simple.
At the Bar Method Lake Oswego, owner Beth Hutchison tells us it's hard to keep up with the constant changes.
Our clients look to us as leaders and authorities, but we're not public health experts. And so to constantly have the back and forth and the whiplash really puts a lot of pressure on us because our clients are looking to us thinking that we're making the calls when we're really just at the whim of the government officials.
Back in July, the governor's office said they were shifting decision-making back to the local level. The mayor of Sandy says he's frustrated to now see another statewide mandate.
How do you think things should be handled with rising cases right now?
Well, it needs to start in our local communities with our local leaders and a conversation amongst neighbors. But I'll tell you this, we've had a vaccine rollout.
You should be doing something. You should be doing something.
This business owner tells us she's worried about losing clients, but is hopeful customers will stick with it.
If this is the situation we're in, I would much rather be able to still work out at the capacities that we've been enjoying since reopening with a mask on, as opposed to being shut down completely or even forced to operate at a reduced level.
And the gym owner tells us with a largely vaccinated clientele, it is frustrating to move backwards. In her announcement today, the governor said this mandate will help keep more people out of the hospital. We're live in Southwest Portland. Megan Allison, Katu News.
Megan, thank you. House Republican leader Christine Drazen responded to the governor's expected mask and vaccine requirements, saying in part the governor has no business mandating vaccines or masks and that Oregon would be the only state in the nation making such a choice.
We're concerned for the safety of our students and all the staff and just for the community. And we're hoping that, the city will come out and do something about it.
Katu reached out to both Portland Public Schools and the city about these concerns. PPS says in part this is not a PPS issue. This is a citywide humanitarian issue. Our hope is for everyone's safety, our students and staff, and for our neighbors, whether in houses or in houseless. A spokesperson for the city of Portland says they're working to address areas of concern regarding CAMs near schools. That must be camps, I'm sure it says there. They have a list of high priority schools, but Cleveland High School is not on that list. They also say the field is not near the actual high school. You can read both statements in full on our website, katu.com.
It's 11 o'clock on a Friday morning, and this is what's happening on one of Portland's most popular recreational paths. A car speeding along, going about as fast as the traffic up on Marine Drive. Shocking, but it's certainly not an isolated incident. This driver came off a bike path and peeled out onto the road right in front of us. We've been keeping our eye on this area for weeks, and every time we get here, we find cars like this one parked off the path. The people who walk, run, and bike here say it makes them really nervous. How many times a day do you think you see someone driving down there?
At least 10.
Juanita Lubin lives next to the path. She says homeless camps have been a growing problem for several years, but things escalated this summer with more people driving to those camps along the river.
I mean, you can't get out your driveway because they gun it when they come out there. They just gun it.
Lubin says she now stays off the path, even when her great-grandkids beg to ride their bikes here. Runners and cyclists tell us they sometimes have to use Marine Drive, one of the city's most dangerous roads, because of drivers on the path.
I've gone online and filed complaints and just nothing happened.
There's cars, there's people on motorcycles. Also, it's like, is this a busy street or is this a running path?
So who's in charge of making sure this is safe for people? We reached out to Metro and they told us they don't manage this stretch of the path. The city of Portland might. Portland Parks and Recreation also told us they do not manage this section of trail. A spokesperson said PP&R and Metro are in discussions about management of this property. Regardless, maintenance would not impact the issues K2 is seeing. They said people should call police to report vehicles using the multi-use path or sidewalk. Portland police told us they know it's a problem and they wish they could do something, but they're stretched thin. They can't keep up with the volume of calls they get every day, so officers have to make tough choices. That means responding to more serious crimes.
It's disappointing and doesn't give you much hope when you see the things that are going on the other end of this little 2-mile stretch.
It's a frustrating reality for people who love this scenic land and miss being able to use it safely.
I think sooner or later somebody's going to get hurt or worse, and then it'll finally draw some attention and some people will start taking care of this, maybe.
In Portland, Angelica Thornton, K2 News.
The path runs right under the levee that protects the city from flooding. The Multnomah County Drainage District told us earlier this summer people have been driving on it and digging into it, which causes damage. They're working with law enforcement when they have to maintain the structural integrity of that levee.